Ever get that feeling? Like you're trying to swat away a bunch of annoyances, and the second you deal with one, like 10 more pop up.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's like playing whack-a-mole with, well, life, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can feel like it's happening on purpose, like someone's using that chaos as a strategy.
Interesting.
We're going to explore that idea today. It's called the Blitz strategy.
Okay, Blitz strategy.
And basically, it's about using a ton of actions all at once to completely overwhelm the other side.
Huh. Sounds intense. So where are we seeing this in action?
We're going to take a look at a YouTube video from the Ring of Fire channel.
Okay.
It's called Trump Uses Blitz Strategy to Overwhelm Dems with Executive Orders.
So we're in the political realm.
Exactly. But remember, we're not here to pick sides or offer any commentary on the politics itself.
Right, of course.
Our goal is to understand how this strategy works, as it's presented in the video, and what kind of impact it can have.
That makes sense. A deep dive into the mechanics, not the politics.
Right. We want to give you, the listener, the tools to understand what's going on without feeling lost in the noise.
So let's break it down. What exactly does this Blitz strategy look like, according to the video?
Well, it seems the key is volume. It's about issuing a huge number of orders, actions, policies, whatever it might be, but all in very quick succession.
Okay, so it's not about the individual weight of each action, but the sheer quantity of them.
Right. The video suggests that the idea was to overwhelm the media and the opposition with so many things happening at once that they wouldn't be able to keep up.
I see. So instead of focusing on addressing each issue individually, they'd be constantly playing catch-up.
Exactly. And the video specifically mentions Stephen Miller, a key advisor. It claims this strategy was his brainchild, even before the administration officially started.
Fascinating. And what was the intended outcome of this Blitz, according to the video?
It was to basically bog down the opposition, drain their resources. You got limited time, limited people. You can only do so much, right?
Absolutely. You spread yourself too thin, and suddenly you're not effective anywhere.
Exactly. The video even says the goal was to make the opposition essentially give up.
Yeah.
They'd be so exhausted and unable to respond to everything, they'd just throw their hands up.
A pretty aggressive approach, it sounds like.
Yeah, no kidding. And the video uses some interesting analogies to explain how this works in practice.
Oh, I love a good analogy. It makes things so much clearer.
Right. So the first one they use is whack-a-mole.
Okay, whack-a-mole, I get it. You're trying to hit one mole, but then 3 more pop up.
Exactly. And that's what this strategy supposedly aims to do. You're dealing with one issue, bam, 2 more executive orders, another policy change. It's nonstop.
It forces you to be reactive, constantly on the defensive.
And as the video points out, there are only so many resources you can dedicate to each new issue.
It can make it incredibly hard to prioritize and strategize effectively.
And it's not just a political strategy, right? I mean, we see this kind of overwhelm tactic used in other areas too.
Oh, absolutely. Think about a company trying to bury some bad press.
Right. They suddenly announce a bunch of new initiatives, partnerships, anything to distract from the negative story.
Or even in sports, you can see elements of this, like a team using a full-court press to disrupt their opponent's game.
It's about creating chaos and making it difficult for the other side to function effectively.
And the video also uses another great analogy. I think it was a football term, flooding the zone.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one was great. So in football, it means sending a lot of players to a specific area on the field.
Overwhelming that area, making it hard for the other team to defend.
And the video applies that to this political strategy. It suggests that by throwing out a ton of actions, they're essentially flooding the zone of public discourse.
So it's not about a few carefully targeted moves. It's about a sheer volume of activity designed to overwhelm.
Right. And the video actually uses the word quagmire to describe the situation they're trying to create for the opposition.
A quagmire, yeah. Like quicksand, The more you struggle, the deeper you sink.
It's a powerful image. And the video then goes on to critique how the opposition responded to this alleged Blitz strategy.
Okay, interesting. Let's get into that. What example do they use?
They talk about the pardoning of the Capitol rioters.
Ah, that was a big one.
Definitely. So, according to the video, the pardons were issued, and then over a week later, the Democrats held a press conference to address it.
A week later? Wow.
Yeah. And that's the point the video's making. The news cycle moved so fast that by the time they responded, it was almost old news.
People had already moved on to the next outrage, the next scandal, whatever it might be.
Exactly. The video uses the phrase 20,000 different outrages to illustrate this constant churn of information.
It's hard to keep up, for sure.
And they contrast this focus on the pardons with another executive order, one that reportedly increased prescription drug prices.
Oh, that's a big deal, something that affects a lot of people directly.
Right, what they call a kitchen table issue. And the video criticizes the Democrats for not prioritizing that in their response.
So the argument is that while the pardons were a big story, focusing on them might have actually diverted attention from other actions with potentially bigger consequences.
That's the point they're making. And they claim that this happens often. The opposition picks the wrong issue to focus on.
Huh, interesting. So it's not just about creating a lot of noise, it's also about strategically directing attention to certain issues over others?
Exactly. And that leads to another analogy they use, the shiny object tactic.
Shiny object, like a distraction?
Precisely. They use the example of trial lawyers, how they might wave around some flashy piece of evidence to distract the jury from something more important.
Ah, so the pardons might have been the shiny object in this case.
That's what the video suggests. All the focus on the pardons, all the debate, might have allowed other actions to slip by unnoticed.
It's about controlling the narrative, in a way, deciding what people focus on.
Right. And the last point the video makes is about bandwidth limitations in the media.
Bandwidth limitations, okay. So, there's only so much space in the newspaper, only so much time on the news.
Right. And even online, there's only so much people can actually pay attention to.
It's information overload.
Exactly. And the video says that this Blitz strategy is designed to exploit that.
So by constantly generating new events, they ensure that nothing really sticks for very long.
That's the idea. It makes it hard for any single issue to gain traction, and potentially important details get lost in the constant shuffle.
Wow, that's pretty insightful. So just to summarize what we've learned from this video, the Blitz strategy is about using a large volume of actions to overwhelm the opposition, create a sort of whack-a-mole situation, and exploit the limited bandwidth of the media.
Right. And they also suggest that strategically choosing which shiny objects to put out there is a key part of this approach.
It's a pretty sophisticated approach to shaping public perception and controlling the narrative.
And for you, our listener, understanding these tactics is crucial. It allows you to see beyond the individual headlines and consider the bigger picture.
It's about developing a more critical lens for how information is presented and consumed.
Exactly. So here's a final thought to leave you with. How can we, as individuals and as a society, develop effective strategies to cut through the noise and avoid being overwhelmed by this constant barrage of information?
That's a great question. It's something we all need to think about in this age of information overload.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because sometimes it feels like the whack-a-mole game never ends.